In this video, I will show you how to use Darkroom Booth 3 to integrate with the Mobibooth RGB, LED, and ring light control kit. To do this, we will use a command line utility and our online FX command line builder in conjunction with the Darkroom Booth 3 photo booth software. To get started, we need to download the console app from the Mobibooth FX Builder website. This can be found at fx.mobibooth.co/builder. I have it loaded here in my web browser. We will want to click the console app download and download the zip file. I have already done this. I will not show it now. Once the download has completed, double click on it to open it. Next, we will create a directory on the C drive. Our recommendation is to create a directory named Tools. I have one here at C:\tools. You want to drag and drop the Mobibooth USB LED.exe file from the zip file into this folder. Next, we need to open up Device Manager. This can be done quickly by typing Device Manager into the Windows search on the toolbar. Once open, we will want to come down to the ports and locate the port that is active. It is recommended that all USB devices except for the Mobibooth LED controller be disconnected before doing this. This will ensure that you have the correct COM port number when looking here. So we can see on my machine I have COM port 1 assigned to my controller connection. Something to note is that once Windows has assigned a COM port to the device, it will remain the same going forward. Now that we have our COM port number, let's make sure that we can open up Darkroom Booth. I have it open here with my window split with the console and Darkroom. We are going to use global settings in this example so that we can make the booth behave the same whenever it starts up, independent of different events. Now this can be overridden by going into each individual event, which we will cover in a future video. We'll click Global Settings in the top right corner and then go to Automation and Device Control. The first thing we want to do is to set up a rainbow. We're going to set it to load the rainbow whenever the booth has started. We want this to return to the rainbow after each session, so we will use the during startup. What we will do is go to Add, Run. We're going to click Browse. We will go to C Tools, as we had set up earlier, C Tools, and we're going to select Mobibooth USB LED.exe and click Open. Now Darkroom has a little oddity to it, so we want to hit OK, and then we're going to come back and update. Now we need to build our FX command. So using the COM port that we had earlier, which is COM port 1, we're going to enter that in our command line builder on the website. We have a whole bunch of patterns here, but we're going to use the rainbow. Let's set the brightness down just a little bit so it isn't running full bore all the time. Then we can adjust our delay, which will slow it down or speed it up, and we can adjust our direction. And we'll leave these as default right now. I want to make sure that the checkbox I am using the Mobibooth USB LED application is checked. And then we'll come down here to your FX command. I'm going to select them all. I'm going to copy. We'll come over here and I am going to paste. So this is my command. Hit OK. Now if we come back and double check, we'll hit update and there it is. What this does is this will now instruct Darkroom Booth to send a command on USB port COM1 to our controller, instructing it to enter into a rainbow pattern. Now this is great, but this isn't wonderful for taking photos. So the next thing we want to do is to actually have the LEDs turn white. And in addition to that, since we're taking the photo, we want as much light as we can have, we're going to turn on the ring light also. So this will give you the 240 LEDs in the ring light plus another 172 white LEDs, giving you over 400 LEDs activated, giving lots of light and ensuring that you have good exposure. There are a few places that we can do this, but my preference is to use the first photo to trigger. What we'll do is we'll click down here, before photo, and we're going to select photo 1. Check the checkbox. Click add, go to run. It's going to remember where we were at, hit browse, and select our utility. Next, we want to come over here and build a new command to put in for the parameters. So we have a couple of options here. We can do solid color, which will give us what we're looking for, or we can add what's called a double wipe. And what this will do is it will come up both sides starting at the bottom and go to the top and then turn on the ring light once all lights are on. So I'm going to use that one. So we'll click color double wipe. We keep the brightness, since we're going to use the stronger LEDs, we don't need to drive these real hard. So we'll go to 200. Leave the delay at 5. That seems to line up real well with a 2-second rise. And then we want to come here and tell it its color. We're going to select all the way over here in the corner, white. And then we want to tell it to turn on the external light. Now we have a new command here. I'm going to select all, copy, paste, hit OK. I'm going to show you. This is the oddity I was showing you before. When you select the utility to run, if you do not first select it, hit OK, and then come back and update, Darkroom will delete the command. So we want to make sure that we double check and re-enter that command. Now we'll see it stays. So this turns our LEDs all on for the photo. But once the photo is done, we then want it to turn off and maybe do something else. So what we go to after the photos are complete is end instructions. I'm going to check that. Do run again. Go select our utility. I'm going to hit OK. And then we'll come back and update to enter my parameters. So to have some fun with this, one thing that I like to do is to use what we call a meteor. So meteor rain. I'm going to use that. I'm going to crank up the brightness on this one, so it's it's 225, which is pretty high. Make the size a little bit bigger, and I'm going to shrink the tail. Which once you load this, you'll see what these all mean. Now, in this particular template I'm using, it has pinks in it. We'll use a pink color for this. So we'll come up here. We can set our color. And we'll scroll down here, get our command, select all, copy, paste, hit OK. Double check, there it is. Now there's one last thing that I always like to do with the booth, because there's no reason leaving the lights all running when you exit booth mode and are inside of this section we're in right now, which would, I guess we would call the back end of min. What we're going to do is we're going to go up here. We're going to select exit booth. Once again, run. Select our utility. Hit OK, hit update. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to solid color, brightness 0. We're going to make it black. Make sure external light is turned off. And we will select all, copy, paste. So now what this will do, now that we've completed this, is when you start up Darkroom Booth, load your event, it will enter a rainbow mode, which will be a scrolling rainbow. Once the user starts a session, it will do a double white wipe up and turn on the external ring light, giving a lot of light. Once that is completed, it will turn off the ring light, take the LEDs and turn them into a pattern that we call meteor rain. It will do this while the end instructions are displayed on the screen, and then it will return to a rainbow when it returns back to the startup mode. I hope this video helps get you started, and there will be more to come. Thank you for choosing Mobibooth products.